I just wanted to do single player nationals and custom user created tracks. So let's just stick with the plan, Stan. Single event, oh no. I want to go 3 laps and 3 opponents because then I can lose. I cannot, well, I can podium first, second, third, or I can lose. But I won't have 10 guys crashing into me. I'll only have 3 guys crashing into me. Alright, so here's what we're looking at when you go to Motocross Madness 1 with the folder that has the game running with 600 national tracks created by users. Starts with, it's not the letter X. Starts with, it's not the letter Y. Starts with, it's not the letter 0 or Z. It's symbols. So you're going to see the symbols. See how he has these little square symbols? I don't know what that gets translated to from ASCII, ASCII, ASCII text, or whatever. There's another variety of standard text used on the internet, whatever. But from there, now you have an exclamation point, HX. Then you have exclamation point, Y2K. Otherwise, this guy's track would have been at the back of the list. But he put an exclamation point in there to put it at the front of the list. And then this guy put 2 exclamation points in there to put it at the front of the list. Alright, so I'm going to quit doing that. And we're just going to page through. Look at all the tracks. Bro, we're going to go through seeing 600 tracks in this video. Now, I'm not going to run them. Duh. It would take a really long time to run all 600 tracks. But you have the option. You have your choice of doing a lot of different things. Now, see here. I started a trend in Motocross Madness 1 of reversing tracks. You run a track in reverse. So you have to reverse the spline, and sometimes you have to reverse engineer the displacement map. But here it is where he's going around one direction, then, oh, boom, boom. I think he goes around one direction, then another. I named some of my tracks north and south. And, you know, Bella backwards. Stuff like that. So here, now we're getting into numbers. Instead of symbols, now we've transferred to numbers, right? And I guess we transferred to numbers after this one. Okay, there you go. So now the tracks with numbers, and this track looks really lame by that screenshot track image. Can't remember how it played, but Team NJK was pretty good people back in the day, so I don't want to badmouth the guy. I haven't been on the track. So anyway, 420, 5th gear, 7 up hills. Really? 747. Whatever the hell that is. Another symbol. Flex grip? Really? And then we have test this. That's actually, test this. Oh, man. I think that was a track. Man, I honestly don't remember. But that is actually Wannabe SX. WANN, Wannabe SX. And then I recreated this track because the original creator didn't want to do it for Motocross Madness 2. So I recreated the track layout anyway. You could still hit the marks, you could still hit the stuff, but not anymore because nowadays we're using gamepads and they don't have nearly as much stick maneuver for preloading and launching a longer distance jump. I'm going to bust out my flight stick, and it's a joystick, but it beats the hell out of this gamepad. I'm here to tell you. Anyway, Test This, I think, was an early version. We were friends with Team HSD, and Team AMA were buddies. Far and wide. So here's Will 4. He had a pretty good run of tracks, along with, there it is, Wannabe SX by Will 4. But first, he issued a Test This, and apparently that was still on my hard drive. I can't believe it. So anyway, Albies, Alps, and then when you get into Flying Fury, now see, we have the underscore. So numbers came ahead of the underscore and the colon. But you're going to see a lot of tricky naming, and you're not going to be able to just jump in here and go look for crisscross. Well, you might be able to find crisscross, but it's going to be CRISS or versus KRISS, and they are both different tracks. So on and on and on and on and on and on and on she goes. Yeah, baby, don't you freaking love it? I definitely love this. This is a track made by AMA BAATK. Then he became AMA Dirt Twister. Then he just dropped AMA. He wasn't on the team anymore. He was Team Twisted Dirt. And he has a website out there. Look for dirttwister.com. You'll probably find it. If not, hit the Discord for the Madness crew in Discord does Midtown Madness, Monster Truck Madness, and Motocross Madness. And yeah, Bruce is a good guy. And then here is another teammate. His name was Kip. He rode with his Pop. That's why it's Kip 66 and Pop 455. Pop rode legit AMA track racing. I think Kip did too. And father-son team, they were on Team AMA. You'll notice anything with the Team AMA logo in there is from somebody on the team. Here's one made by Kip. Here's one made by me. Hey, AMA King. Yeah, AMA. Here's the Twinduro Saturday Sunday. I said a minute ago that I sometimes name tracks north and south. Here's one Saturday and Sunday. Ta-da! Saturday, Sunday. And then AMA AirTech Zone All Day by AMA King. Oh, dude, this was like, my goal was to show off the displacement map so that people got a better understanding of darker dirt was actually, deeper and lower, a lower level than the surrounding terrain. So that's what I was doing there. And, AirTech Zone all day and all night. So I just replaced the Sky Cube. I think I was funny. And AMA Brain Fade, I don't remember that. Brought by AMA Coop. Poor Coop has passed away. We loved that guy. Hung out with him several times at the Indianapolis Supercross. Yep. Gonna keep going. Amarin Valley, Ankle Breaker. There's just so many fantastic tracks. And some that kind of sucked. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stop here and say some that sucked. AMA Back, BAATK, that's Bruce Atkinson. But BruceAtkinson.com. Wait. BruceAtkinson.dirttwister.com. I can't remember how to spell that off the lips, but Cameron Graphics, camshaft with a K. I don't know why he misspelled his own name. Cameron, I think his name's Cameron with a C, but he goes by Cam and camshaft with a K. But he's a good guy. The track was really good. He did a lot of special editions in Motocross Madness 1 and later in Motocross Madness 2. He did a lot of good graphic work. I think Bruce Back, whatever you want to call it, man, Batman. He did the displacement mapping and maybe painted some of the hay bales on the track. But then we got Augusta's Evil Twin. Now, see, somebody made a special edition of Augusta. That's a stock track, but they ran it in reverse, or they changed some things. And then we got all kinds of tracks by Team AUS. They were good guys too. Really, really, really lots. And Awesome Possum was a great track. We ran that 1,000 times in the Microsoft Gaming Zone. Man, we're only in the B's, bro. And there's AMA tracks popping up everywhere, aren't there? Yes, indeed. Because I was there. We were there. We were the team. We were one of many teams. I just kind of want to play it up, So here's Bruce's backyard. Apparently he has in Bruce's backyard reversed. And then we got his Supercross track. Dude, I'm telling you, there are so many awesome tracks. We're only in the B's, bro. Okay, I'm going to shut up and keep going. I'm sorry I lied. Badlands was a really, really good track. Racing Joe made a lot of really cool tracks. Team AMA right there. Bama Buster by AMA Vet Rider. Holy cow. Now listen, this guy was military. He was a military helicopter mechanic. And when he got out of the military, he was a freaking helicopter mechanic. Or he was a helicopter engineer. So yeah, don't tell me we didn't have smart people on Team AMA, baby. Barrel Springs. That was a really cool track. You can see by that particular screenshot how gnarly that is. It is really pretty twisted. And then we got Batcave by Batman. Bells Backwards by AMA King. Woohoo! Kind of. You know, I put brackets there. I didn't invent the track. I just re-engineered the track and ran it backwards. So I want to say that I was the first of this kind to run a track backwards. They came out with a stock track from the game. I reversed it, and it flowed well. And then I started making all of my tracks with a forward and backward version. And a lot of other people followed suit. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, right. Okay, we're going to get to some of the really, really cool stuff. Bone Collector was really good. Honestly, so many of these tracks. Oh, Bring It, Dave U, anything from Dave U. He was NJK, Dave U, and Dave U. Anything by that dude is going to be a good track. Anything by Racing Joe is a good track. Oh, boy. Here's Cameron Graphics, Burial Grounds. You see the skull buried into the dirt. Oh, man. He was a really cool guy. He is still a cool guy. He's on the Discord, dude. Join the Discord. Madness Crew. And then there's MX Revival. Or Revival MX Games or something like that. Damn it. Sorry, man. I forgot the name. Shade. But here we are. Now, gonna keep going. Now there's some crappy. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stop on an AMA track. See, like the track has just a picture of Cartman. So how do you know or remember? Was this any good? I don't remember ever racing it. So there was some. You get in a grab bag. It's like stick your hand in the bucket and grab a handful. You might get some licorice jelly beans, and you might get some Tootsie Rolls, right? So I would say that this is probably a Tootsie Roll. It's made by our buddy Bruce from AMA, Dirt Twister, AMA Back, Bruce Atkinson, and I don't know why this guy is okay with like throwing his name out there on the internet. I usually try to keep mine on the down low, but it's his URL, man. It is. And so, bam, 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 bam. Oh, Clow Hills. That was another Bruce track, another backtrack. AMA Dirt Twister from Team Twisted Dirt. So, yeah. We're only in the C's, dude. We're only in the C's. There's a track by Dave U. I'm telling you, don't pass up. Anytime you see Dave's name, go for it. Dave U. Bam. It's going to be a good track. Then we got another track by my old buddy Coop. Man. Bro. It was so much fun. He actually came to Illinois on a business trip, and we took my dirt bike, and my buddy Ray brought his 2 dirt bikes, and the 3 of us got to ride a little Supercross, Motocross, Supercross combination weird, track. It's not really AMA sanctioned. It's just a local track. But yeah, Coop came out and rode with us. And then we hooked up with him and his girlfriend and eventual wife in Indianapolis for the Supercross, I think, on 3 different occasions. I believe we also met up with Coop at the Indianapolis or Indiana Badlands. Badlands is a dirt bike off-road park. I don't even know if they're still in business, but yeah, Coop showed up for that. We were game friends and real life friends from a, I don't know, 12-state area. Bro, I actually flew to California on business, and one of the guys on Team AMA, two of the guys actually, on Team AMA, heard me talking about, hey, I'm going to be in San Francisco. Where should I go? I want to go up to that place called Napa Valley. And AMA RMX 250. Yes, AMA RMX 250, bro. Still to this day. Love that guy. And his kid. RMX 125Z or something like that. I can't remember the kid's name. But I rode that freaking kid's 125 up in the hills. And then there was AMA Vavoom. VAVOOM. He was from Reno, Nevada. He drove halfway from Reno to Mendocino, California. Him and AMA RMX 250, they met in the middle so that Vavoom dropped off his YZ250 so that I would have a bike to ride. And then RMX 250 drove back home. I mean, I think this is like a 6-hour stretch between these two places. I flew into California. I had a couple of business meetings on Thursday, Friday. And then I drove north. I rented a car and drove north. I gave up on freaking, who cares about Napa Valley? I went there later in life. But, yeah, I drove up to Mendocino. I met up with RMX 250, his kid. They had a big 15-foot by 15-foot military camper or military-style tent. It was huge. Dude, 16-foot a square is huge. I know I said 15, but whatever. He had a freaking wood stove in it, a little chimney that went out of it. The three of us had little blow-up air mattresses and foam padding. We slept and ate like kings. He had a cooler full of steaks, the grill, and we went out there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We rode up into the mountains in California into the snow. Yeah, been there, done that. It was awesome. We loved it. Team AMA was awesome, and I can't believe those guys had to drive that much time to give motorcycles back. Like, I rode Vavoom's YZ250, and then RMX wanted to try the bike, so I rode his RMX 250, and then I rode the kid's 125. Oh my God, I was scared to death I was going to break the thing. Wah, 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 wah. It just screamed like a banshee the whole time. And I'm like, well, I was right behind the kid going up and down all these trails, right? And I'm like, I know the bike can take this, but it just sounds so freakishly weird. Man, good times. Dirt bikes are the best, bro. All right, back to the game. X Green Ogre. He was a regular. Everybody on Team X was a regular in the zone. Oh, Moto X41? Well, okay, Moto XXX41. He made some great tracks, even up into Motocross Madness 2. Crankshaft. Dude, we're only in the C's. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm just going to try to keep my mouth shut. See, there it is. MX41 again. Racing Joe. Oh, Cameron Graphics. Special editions. People start to run out of letters eventually. But here's another one. Moto X441. He made some good stuff, man. That was fun. Fat Man. Oh my God, I forgot about Fat Man. Sorry to mention that he passed away before the game was even finished in Motocross Madness 2, I think. Yeah, a long time ago, dude. There was old El Diablo. Oh, there it is. Dead Dog. Dead Dog. NJK. I can't even read that. But it's the Dog Pound. And that's not Dead Dog's name. But Dead Dog was on Team NJK with Dave U. And Super nice people. Double Impact, debut. Speaking of debut, there it is, another debut track. Bulldog, oh God. Bulldog was great. UFO Showtime made great tracks. Mr. Happy BK from Team HSD. He was very good track maker. HSD Hoppin' Gator ran the Full Throttle website. Here's another Moto X 41. Here's another Fat Man. Are you kidding me? I can't believe how many guys made so many more tracks. Oh, wait. Oh, UFO 2 Raw. 2 Raw made some good stuff. There were a lot of guys on Team UFO that made good stuff. Oh, that was Kip's Creations. So eventually, Kip and his dad left Team AMA because we were just in different time zones and places in life, right? Him and his kid were doing stuff and weren't around in evenings, but they were around on weekends, and I wasn't. I had a street bike, and I was gone. So anyway, they shifted over to Twisted Dirt. And what was this? Moto XXX. Yep. And I'm sorry, some of you guys I might be skipping over. Happy BK again. Are you kidding me? We're only in the Fs. Bulldog again. Flat Top is a really fun track. Very strange. A couple of really tricky sections, and that's why it's fun. Then there's a couple of sections where you just gotta let it rip and cross your fingers, squeeze your knees, and hope you land it. Flathead Special Edition, okay, the Winter Edition. MX Racer, he made some good stuff. Black Rose, that's the guy who was doing some Dead Dog kind of tribute stuff. I remember this screen image, but I don't remember Rec as a username. Or maybe I remember Blink99, I remember him. Tex equals, or Tex is underscore rec, or underscore bleh. Team Zip. Blink or Tex, I don't know, whatever. Fat Man again. Yep, and then there's Team UFO. Apparently a whole bunch of them contributed to that one. Here's more by Team UFO. Okay, so if you're not familiar, when you made tracks back in Motocross Madness 1 and 2, you painted a black and white image in Photoshop, which I started to allude to earlier when I talked about my track that had the dark zone. It was a black and white track, but the dark areas were low and the white areas were high, and the gray areas are a different gradient, right? So you might say 0 at sea level, 0 foot above sea level, is black, and 12 feet or 20 feet or 60 feet. You could define all these parameters in the creation of your track. So if you ran a track that was 0 equals black, but you could run it at -10, so 10 foot below sea level is going to be black. It would go in below terrain level. Like you see here, there's this gully, but when you're down in the gully, it doesn't draw the whole horizon, and you have less frame drop. Blobbity blah blah. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but black and white tracks indicated your displacement map. And let's see, is this what got me? No, can't remember what started me off on that one, but Team Rocket. Oh, Team Rocket, Toxic Rocket. No, there was Team Rocket also. I think they were RKT. Rat Dez, Strider, Funky Flyer was stupidly fun. Madman Dave. Oh wait, no, Mogulmeister. Now, why does this one say by Madman Dave, but it's actually Mogulmaster? Maybe he made the original and Madman Dave recreated it? No, that ain't true, because this is MCM1. Anyway, Mogulmaster, MGL Master, he was a skier. And, you know, that was his stuff. He's going to show up more later. Here's Bruce again. AMA back. Baddock, whatever you want to call it, Batman, and AMA Dirt Twister, or now just Dirt Twister. TD Dirt Twister, I guess he was. Also Moto XXX again. Golden State, yabba dabba, wabba dabba dabba. Wow, dude. Okay, so you understand why I am begging for a track creator in other games. I mean, okay, let me back up here. Glamis by Walls, or by Mets on Team Wall Mets. I've been to Glamis. It's not anything like this, but there are places in Glamis where you can carve in a track if you get 12 guys all chasing each other and you all follow a specific rhythm. You are going to form berms and you are going to form whoops, but a lot of those jumps just aren't really going to happen naturally, but whatever. Here we have Glen Helen by MX. Is that 41? I don't think so. Glen Helen by Ron. Oh my God, Ron. Stefan Ricotta. He still works for Rainbow Studios to this day, dude. He is making tracks for MX vs. ATV Legends. Yes, Ron. Stefan Ricotta. Ron Cotta is a freaking legend himself, dude. And then here we have, Northern Lights, Golden MX, the golf course. That was fun. Other people made golf course and neighborhood tracks that were really, really fun. Granite Rock National, Team UFO, another collaboration. That's what set me off. The collaboration. I started telling you about displacement mapping. Black is, sea level 0, and let's say pure white is 20 foot above. You could run a jump that's 20 foot above ground zero. So that displacement map would change to, that displacement map, like here you can see, like Dave in this particular screenshot probably has a sea level or a ground zero. Black is minus 20 foot or minus 10 foot. But his white is maybe 50 foot or 60 foot for this track. And you can see all the down areas are black, and all the white areas are the tip of the jumps at the maximum. And I lost my train of thought again, just trying to go back and explain the displacement map. So next time I catch that whiff, I'm not going to talk about the displacement map. We're just going to go straight into it. Magoo. I remember Magoo. Man, that was a fun track. Then just keep going. Special edition, another camera and graphics track. Unbelievable. This guy cranked out some stuff. RST Spawn, he made some really good tracks too. Super fun. Nice flow. I don't remember DSM Rob. More from Bruce. Hash Brown, don't remember that. Team UFO. Oh, there it is. The team thing. All right, so Team UFO would collaborate. One guy might make the displacement map, the black and white jumps and stuff. But then he handed it over to the rest of the team, and they started making the jump a little higher, the landing a little shallower, the berm a little steeper. Like, they tweaked it. Then the team, they all got together on Discord. Back in the day it was TeamSpeak. I don't think Ventrilo even existed back then. Maybe it was just Zone Talk. Did the Microsoft Internet Gaming Zone have voice actuated or voice chat rooms? I can't remember. But so anyway, the team would collaborate on a track. You put out a black and white displacement map, and Team AMA did this also a lot. We would share a map with a guy, and he would say, "Hey man, turn 4, I just can never land that." And then 4 other guys would say, "Yeah, I always case it there." Okay, so apparently I had a little more flick in my stick, and I was able to land it, but it was tight. You had to have everything set up perfectly going into it. So then I would soften turn 4 landing, turn 4 the landing after the jump after turn 4, whatever. We were able to communicate to one another. Hey, you need to change this. And then I'm like, all right, anybody want to do the graphics on this? And 99% of the time, no. But occasionally, Team UFO was a team effort. Some of the guys would be doing the textures. Some other guys would be doing the jumps. Lots of guys would be doing the testing. And then that rolled forward into Motocross Madness 2, where people were actually, placing objects on tracks for other people. Because some guy, he just wanted to make displacement maps and jumps. He would go ride test it. He'd have 4 or 5 other special friends who would ride test it and make sure everybody could clear the jumps and make sure that it was also hard and challenging and technical if that was the kind of track they were going for. If they were going for a flowy track, then he wanted everything to flow, and if everybody could, stay in the same rhythm. So team collaboration, Team UFO tracks was that. It started as a displacement map that a bunch of people rode, and a bunch of people gave the original creator input, and then they may have even changed it themselves and sent it back. Oh, I got the hiccups. And then sent it back to the original creator, and then they all wrote it again, and everybody agreed that, okay, this is it. This is a go. So you start with alpha, beta, test track 1, test track 2, test track 4, whatever, through the reins. Then you get somebody to volunteer who's going to do the textures. Now, realistically, the textures are pretty separate from the displacement map, because you can see here, you got brown and you got green. So somebody could have started the texture map on alpha, beta, version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4 of the track. And they don't have to do much more than just keep tweaking it a little bit here and there. So there's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh my gosh, NGraphX. This guy made some kick-ass tracks, NGraphX. You'll see his name again and again. Here's one of the other weirdos from HSD, MotoJack. Yeah, HSD had some people who were like all into some music that I didn't care for, but they were a good honestly, there wasn't anybody on the zone. Anybody on a team was a good guy. And the reason you're on a team is because you don't want to play with track cutters and cheaters. You don't want to play with guys who claim they're not using the 500 hack, but they're using the 500 hack, but they lie to you and say, oh, I'm just riding a 250. So that's why teams formed, and sometimes there was a bad apple on a team and they would get ejected. And all the other teams knew it. So anyway, it was a community back then. Yeah, I know. We're only in the H's, dude. I've told you the whole history of Motocross Madness 1. Not really. And I'm just going to try to keep my mouth... And graphics again. I'm going to try to keep my mouth shut through this, but I knew this was coming up. MotoX41, Hillsdale Park, with Cameron doing the graphics and textures, was spectacular. Great track. We're going to get there. Hillsville by Racing Joe, also a very good track. Hillsville 2, also by Racing Joe. Oh, I'm sorry, this was by Ron. He took Hillsville, and he was friends with Joe, or spoke to Joe and said, yeah, go for it. Maybe Joe sent him the displacement map. I don't know. I would love to hear the story. If Ron jumped on YouTube and started telling us that stuff, that would be so much fun. Hollister Hills was very, very good. Like I said, Team UFO, Team OS were really good in the zone. Team Wall, and Mets again. Mets made some good stuff. Here we got Fat Man again. Are you kidding me? There's a lot of names keep repeating, doesn't in there? Yeah, I keep hearing a bunch of names. MotoX41 again. Happy BK. MX Racer. Odd Job. Dude, I haven't even gotten to Crisscross yet. Here's another Cameron Graphics. Another Cameron Graphics. Well, it's the reverse of the same track. Wait, who was that? Makeover by Cameron on MotoX41 for Interstate 41, and then a reverse or a warp. Okay, warps are different. A warped track is when you take the track displacement and you lay it on top of a mountain or a couple of hills, and or you can skew the track. There's skew and warp, and there's overlay. There's all kinds of things you can do once you actually have access to doing them, because track or game development companies have given users a little bit of power to make the game their own. That's what we need today. Oh, what just happened? Back? Oh, I clicked next instead of this. That's what happened. MotoJack, NJK, Tika was good. Joy of SX, another Bruce track. He doesn't have any logos here, but finally he put out the special edition with better textures. And, man, I just can't believe this. Can you believe this? 99% of you just quit watching already. But hopefully you're going to realize that, hell, I got to get my hands on this Motocross Madness 1 thing. Kentucky Blues was something we ran in the zone all the time. The track flows really nicely. GDI Bulldog. I remember running this, but I don't remember Sub-Zero being in the zone a hell of a lot. MX Dude. Oh, this was a Racing Joe track. Killer. I'm sure we ran that 1,000 times. King of the Hill. Yeah, Bulldog. We ran that. Kip and Pop again. Busting them out. Oh, there it is. Crisscross with a K. There's a crisscross with a C in Motocross Madness 2. Crisscross. And then Crisscross 2 with K exists in Motocross Madness 2 also. This is a special edition, or maybe this is the original edition of Crisscross Motocross Madness 1 by Camshaft, Cameron Graphics. Yep. And then here's a special edition. All right, well, I don't know what the differences are. Maybe Cam will show up and tell us about that on his channel. You can find him on YouTube. I believe he goes by Cam or Camshaft, or just look for Cameron Graphics. Bro, I'm telling you, you're going to find him. He'll show up. Or get your ass on Discord. You can find him directly. You can message the guy. So here it is, Crisscross X2. Really? We have the special edition and we have the X2. Okay, great. More tracks are better than no tracks. User tracks rule, bro. That's me. I'm singing to the choir. I understand I don't sing well, but this was one of my favorite tracks, KTM Utopia. I think I did a remake of this. I asked Rags, hey, can I recreate this? It might have been KTM Utopia Reverse. I don't know, but that was in Motocross Madness 2, I think. Yeah, it was. So, really miss playing KTM Park Pro Weekend. That was pretty fun, too. Rags was a good track creator. La La Land, don't remember that. I'm just going to start pounding through them. Fat Man, a little more Fat Man. It's never enough Fat Man. Lykia was pretty good. Warp Brothers made some good tracks. This McHugh Basin, Team 6-6 or 6-2 Studios. Man, they made some other stuff. I was just trying to remember what the hell else they made. Mad Hatter was MotoJack, Moto X41. Man, this guy made a lot of tracks. They're not all really great, but many of them are very fun tracks. Now, clearly, not all of my tracks are bangers either. And honestly, here's Debut. I would say this is probably one of the debut tracks that's not as great as his later work. But, yeah, dude. Motocross Madness 1 had it going on because Rainbow Studios gave the community tools and tutorials to make stuff. And then the community ran with it. They jumped on a forum. And, honestly, I say that a forum has 10 times better structure than Discord. Discord is for talking, and forums are for, written material. So anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Mass Air was really fun. That was around for a long time. We ran that over and over and over. Mega Drive Blues. Later, there was I did a Mega Drive Blues for Motocross Madness 2. I called it Mega Drive Blues 2. And then I did a reverse version of that. Dude, it just keeps going. And we're only in the M's. Now, there's not a whole lot of the rest of the alphabet that's going to have a whole lot of words to it, but here's Debut again. Mongoose was fun. We ran that 1,000 times, I swear. MX Racer. More Kip and Pop. That is a really nice screenshot, but I really just don't remember ever doing that. That's a great screenshot. Mount Misery, I think we've done that because the lava rings a bell, but Muskrat Hill, I remember doing that. MX Mountain, Bulldog, right? Wasn't that Bulldog? Yep, Bulldog. Here's another Bulldog. MX Mountain 2. Rancata, Stefan Rancata, again, Ron's Backyard. That was a good track. Another N Graphics. That guy made some good stuff, I'm telling you. Pretty sure he has also, we got word that he passed away. Butterbean is listed here as Team NGX, but later he was just Team X. I think Butterbean made some tracks. Who else am I seeing here? NGraph X. NGX is Team Ngraphics. So he started his own team. Oh man, can you believe it? Can you believe it, Mr. Happy BK? Oh man. MX Racer made some tracks. Team UFO stuff. Nutbuster was fun. Are you kidding me? Cameron Graphics again, of course. And yes, you would bust your nuts trying to beat that. OI812. Man, Dave, you put out some great frickin' tracks. He found his groove, and then he got his groove on. And he kept making tracks into Motocross Madness 2, and I hope we will get there, and I hope you will be with me when we get there. Here's Green Ogre from Team X again. Man, we're only into the O's. I can't believe it. On Any Saturday? Yeah, by Tim Crunch. Remember the old movie with Malcolm? Malcolm. Oh, I'm sorry, Malcolm. I can't remember your last name. Malcolm Smith. On Any Sunday. Watch it. Go find it. It's free. It's a documentary film nowadays. It's beyond its copyright years. Nobody renewed the copyright, or maybe they did, but it's still available free to watch on YouTube on Any Sunday. Malcolm Smith. Dude, it's the early days of, you would not believe the crappy motorcycles they took pounding through 100 miles of desert. It's insane. And there's another debut track, Over the Top. Man, that track was really over the top. I'm here to tell you. Another debut track, Painted Plateau. Very fun track. A little weird in terms of, I didn't care for the graphics here. It just was like bright and sometimes not entirely clear where you're supposed to land because you're flying over so many things. You're so high in the air. And it's like, oh shit. Should I have whipped it left or should I have whipped it right? Because there's two areas that look like my landing area. And eventually you begin to memorize the track. So, you know, that's pretty common. All right, so we're getting there, man. We're getting there. Whew. I'm telling you, we're getting there. MX Racer again. Deja. I can't read that. Pine Mountain Raceway, MX41 again, MX Dude, Pine Run. There's some, like I said, there's some crappy tracks and there's some good tracks. There's some crappy screenshots and some good tracks behind them. The guy just didn't know how to make a good screenshot or textures. That was pretty common actually. And here's another track by Team X, or one of the members on Team X. Here's another track by NGraphics. Here's X Lone Wolf. He made some good shit from Team X. Later that day, same guy. NGraphics again. DSM Rob. I remember that name, and I think maybe he was more prevalent in Motocross Madness 2. Don't remember. Another NGraphics. Okay, dude, I'm telling you, are you picking up a theme? There are some guys who were just hell-bent and made a ton of really good tracks. Here's Again, Motocross 41 or Moto X 41. Tika again. Moto X 41 again. What? Come on, guys. Dirt Tracks Graphics. Racing Joe. And Graphics teamed up for this? Are you kidding me? And Graphics and Racing Joe together. Oh, I'm going to have to try that one. Dude, there's just so many tracks to run. That's what happens when they give the community a little bit of power. We're gonna make stuff, and it's gonna be awesome. And we're gonna hang out. We're gonna collaborate. We're gonna talk to each other. We're gonna race together. I find the modern day like MX versus ATV stuff is kind of, here's another day view. It's kind of weak just because there's no sense of community or belonging. People get in and, you know, I've seen a few Discords, but I don't know, man. Discords just aren't the same as forums. And I'll say it over and over and over. Discord is for voice. Forums are for actually, you know, communicating, posting screenshots that are meaningful and categorized into buckets. A thread or a category and then a thread within a category. You know, that's very different stuff than just random stuff on the multiple channels of Discord. Even though you can post text and yeah, you can post images, but some people don't let you post images on their channel in the text threads. And there's a dedicated media, channel. Then there's a chat voice channel. So it just gets splintered and separated somehow. Rocky Hill and Blink 99, remember that? Here's Black Rose from Team NJK. Kind of remember that. Another track by Racing Joe. Wait, what did I see? Oh, I don't remember him. Oh, Strider. I kind of remember that name. Here's another Kip and Pop production. Fat Man. Tika. Black Rose again. Rat Does one. I don't remember that. Here's N Graphics. Oh, Sadie. Oh my God. Sadie was a very smooth flowing track. Very, very nice. Super fun. So I'm going to run these tracks at some point. I'm going to go through. Maybe I'll just try to collect everything I can find. That's a let's say I do a collection of BK tracks, Happy BK, or I do a collection of N Graphics, I do a collection of Cameron, I do a collection of Moto X 41. And you're going to notice in Motocross Madness 2, there's a dude popped up called Spode, Spode. He made some good shit. FullThrottle.net, that was my buddy Ray from HSD _ Gator. He and I were buddies, lived near each other and rode together on the regular, like for years. 10 years? I've known Ray for a long, long time. HSD Hoppin' Gator. He had a CR250 with a flyweight, so he could do more woods riding because that was the only real riding areas we had near us. Then he bought a KTM 300, and then we met playing Motocross Madness 1 and realized we had the same Media 1 email address. So we were like, hey man, where do you live? And he lived in my frickin', the town next door. Like, he was literally 10 minutes away. I could drive to his house in 10 minutes. And when he bought his KTM, he still had his CR because he wanted to bring his nephew riding. Well, his nephew was kind of scared and small and couldn't ride that bike. So he's like, hey, you want to go riding in real life? Yeah. So I started riding his CR. I rode that thing for about 2 months, and then I bought a KDX. And yeah, we rode together for 10 years after that, dude. We shared hotel rooms, campsites, tents. We traveled all over like 7 or 10 different states. I don't even know, dude. It blurs together. So anyway, here's more by Happy BK, and then now Racing Joe, and more Racing Joe, and more Racing Joe. Are you kidding me? And more Racing Joe. Are you picking up the theme here? Here's Team HSD because somebody made the graphics, somebody made the displacement map, and the whole team did testing. So it became a team effort, and that is so awesome. That's what we're lacking today. We don't... Bro, there are so many of us out here with just an absolute burning desire for with creative skills that just want to make stuff. So anyway, here's another track by Bulldog. Are you kidding me? We're only in the S's. Here's another one. Back. Bruce Atkinson. Dirt Twister. Here's Rat McGrath. Man, I don't remember him, but that track looks pretty nice. Another Cameron Graphics. Are you kidding me? Dude, you made a lot of shit, bro. Oh, Mogul Master again with the Mogul Master. Ron, RST Ron, Stefan Ricotta, current employee at Rainbow Studios, I do believe still. And I'm just gonna. Here's MotoX41 again, bro. You made so many tracks. Now they're not all bangers, like I said. Not everybody bangs one out, and it's fantastic. Every once in a while you get a clunker. I've made some clunkers. So I'm not trying to insult anybody or diss anybody. It's an evolutionary process. You got to start somewhere, and you make some tracks, and then you break some things, and then you realize, oh well, that kind of sucked. After you play it, after you watch, but it's also a huge difference between using a gamepad now. If you go and run some of these tracks with the gamepad, you're just not going to make it. You're not going to make the gaps, and you're not going to get the flow. You got to have a joystick. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I'll prove it once I plug in a joystick and clear Danger Island 2, or Danger Island and Danger Island 2, because I can't do it nowadays. I can't do it with a gamepad. Just can't. But when I made the track with a joystick, oh, no problem. I mean, it was a problem. I tried to make a hard track because our team was into the hard technical stuff. That's what we loved. And but there was a lot of good flowy stuff. And it is what it is. Mogul Master again. Oh, are you kidding me? Frenchie. Oh my God, I forgot about Frenchie. He made a ton of tracks later. Oh, this guy was good, man. I think he ended up being HSD Frenchie. Oh, he was the one who made the lap time recorder that posted all your lap times to fullthrottle.net, whereas X Times also had a recorder, or a lap recorder, and a leaderboard and stuff like that. Dude, X Wicked. Yep, X Wicked made some stuff. Is more Stefan Ricotta. Moto X41 again, dude. Is this Cameron? No. Moto X41 again. K2 Rider, he made some stuff. I remember his screenshots. I didn't really care for the screenshots so much. Here's another Pop and Kip, or Kip and Pop, with the Step Up 2 plugin. Okay, so Step Up. Okay, Motocross -1 came with national tracks, and then they released tools allowing the user community to create race tracks, national tracks, by making a displacement map, running it through a 3D generator program, and then, all kinds of other gobbledygook. But there was a tile-based Supercross editor where you could make your own Supercross tracks. Eventually, the team, or the community, Bruce specifically, I think, and Team Twisted Dirt, now it's Dirt Twister's website, they modified the Supercross tiles. They increased the number of tiles that would be allowed. They increased the height of the tiles, and they created a Step Up plugin. Then there was Step Up 2. Then you could build a Supercross track in the Motocross -1 Supercross editor, and you could convert that into a displacement map and turn that into a national track and put custom textures on it. And you could also manipulate the black and white up and down height map. Absolutely phenomenal. You would not believe where this game began and how much fun it was back in its day. Oh no, the game just crashed on me. No, it did not. Whew. But the tornado alarm is going off. All right, so here we go. Yep, we were talking about this, and then I started blipping through, and apparently the game had a brain fart. Here's one of my tracks. It's called Strawberry Hill North and Strawberry Hill South. I lived in a place where they built a subdivision in a cornfield. So what they ended up doing was they stripped all the black dirt off of the cornfield so they could sell it. They dragged these big belly scrapers, and they took all the topsoil off, and they built our homes on top of clay. It was a big field of clay, really solid dirt, absolutely terrible gardening. We had to bring in truckloads of dirt to build up a garden that would live on top of a clay bed. You couldn't rototill it in. It was just really pretty hopeless, but that black dirt all ended up in 2 different locations. One was very near the railroad, where they could load all this black topsoil into a railroad car and ship it across the country and sell it for, I don't know, $1,000. I don't know. It seems really crazy to consider. They scraped up dirt for free. They piled it up on an empty lot, and then they scraped it again and loaded it into trucks, semi-trailers. They sold semi-trailer loads of black dirt. We bought some of the own dirt back that was scraped off our own farm field that our house was built on. Anyway, we had a place, and when it was next to there was a dirt field right out my backyard in the vacant lot in the corner. They eventually built a gas station there and stuff. But we had a tree house there. We had a tree fort. There was a Quonset hut. Yabba dabba doo. But like 4 miles away, 3 miles away, we would ride our BMX bikes over to Strawberry Hill. It was a big pile of black dirt next to the railroad tracks, and we rode all over that big pile of dirt. Now, it wasn't groomed like this, but it was a big pile of dirt. And you go up one side and you turn, and then you run along the edge, and then you turn and you try to climb again, and then you turn flat again, then you can do a switchback, right? So you got a couple of switchbacks to get up to the top, and then it's just a hardcore run downhill to a jump. Because this was for BMX bikes, we dragged some, go-karts made out of 2x4s over there and tried to push them down the hills. And what else did we do? Oh, later in life, I had a TS125 when I turned 16. A Suzuki TS125 was a dual sport, oil-injected 2-stroker. And I rode that thing all over this Strawberry Hill. My Strawberry Hill in real life wasn't as good as this, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it. MX Racer again. Another Team AMA track, this one by, Kip's Creations, Kip and Pop. Supercross, Moto X41 again. Another Cameron Graphics. This is such a sweet track. He made it again in Motocross Madness 2. Such a sweet track. One of my favorites. Sweet SX. Speaking of sweet tracks, Sweet SX just flows, bro. Dave, I commend you. Big 2 double thumbs up, high fives, double hands. Sweet SX was awesome. Swiss Moss was actually one of the best tracks in the game, and that's why I got hung up on 626. 62 Studios? Why was that so? Why did that stop me in my tracks? Because they made Swiss Moss, dude. Now, here we go again with Moto X41. Bro, did you even have a job, or were you a teenager back then? All right. Racing Joe. AMA Coupe. Oh, my buddy Coupe. Excuse me. All right. I thought this terminal illness was made by somebody I've mentioned several times, but didn't see his name on it, so maybe not. Another Moto X41. Toxic Rocket. TX Rocket. Test Pilot. Don't remember that track. Guru 250. The Compound. The Dirt Quarry. The Dream. The Edge. Moto X41. Bro. Seriously? And reversed. Yeah. There was another MX41. Oh, Lone Wolf made some weird stuff. This track actually, you're not riding around in a black sphere of nothingness. There is terrain around you, but that's a cool track. And then he made a reverse version too. Here's another NJK Tika, another Tika. Guru 250, Guru 250, Black Rose made some good stuff. Don't remember. I remember TMX 99. I remember that screenshot, but I don't remember RAP Twist. I don't think I ever rode with him in the zone. Now, you know what is really interesting in the track creation situation? Some tracks flow really well, but the guy couldn't make frickin' textures to save his life, so it looks like crap. Some tracks had great textures, but they didn't ride well. They weren't, there wasn't a good flow. You could never make the triple, even back in the day with a joystick. So, there was a trade-off. But, you give a man you teach a man to fish, and he'll feed himself for life. You give a man a fish, and he'll starve tomorrow. Give us track editors. That's my point. Anyway, here's a Guru 250. I'm going to just keep trying to plow through this. Can you believe this stuff, dude? It's unbelievable. Racing Joe. Oh, Tough Stuff. That was a good track. Oh, my gosh. Are we done yet? More from Bruce. I'm telling you, Bruce made some really good stuff, but he had a unique style of how he rode tracks and how the tracks he made, well, he made tracks the way he rides. So he was more about, I think, short bursts of throttle, and I wouldn't really say more technical tracks, but more timing was required, or more throttle control. I don't know, man. Viagraville, I remember that name. Lone Wolf. Oh, STR Lone Wolf made some good shit. There's Green Ogre again. Mogul Master again. We're getting close, dude. Oh, was that Happy BK? Yep. Toxic Rocket again. Magoo. ARL Magoo. And Buddha. I don't remember Buddha. But anyway. Whiplash. Oh, Whippin' Hill. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting really close to the end, dude. MX Racer. This was a very fun track. We're going to run that. Whippin' Hill 2 shows up in Motocross Madness 2. I guarantee. I know it's there. Another Racing Joe track. Wildcat Canyon by Team UFO. And then we got Wild Child Park. It looks really good, but I can't recall ever running it. Will Haven. Wilmore Falls by MotoX41. Dude, when did you ever stop making tracks? I guarantee you he was making tracks in Motocross Madness 2 also. And then here is another track by Rags1, the guy who did KTM Utopia, WP Zone. I think this is the track that I actually did a reverse version of. Or maybe I did just a recreation in Motocross Madness 2. But I got permission from Rags1, and that's always important. Don't steal somebody else's work, dude. I hit them up. I'm like, hey, man, can you send me the displacement map? And they're like, no, it's on an old hard drive. It's already formatted and gone. All right, would you mind if I recreate it if I can figure out how to do it? Nah, go for it. Okay, I'll give you credit. So, that's how that worked amongst respectful people back in the day. Here's another Twisted Dirt track from, in this case, X Master K2 and AMA Back, which is Bruce, which is Dirt Twister today. Another Dirt Twister track, and here is X Moto, X Times, X Plateau, YZ Acres, Zero Gravity. That's a really cool looking track, isn't it? And we are finally back to the beginning. Are you kidding me? 600 frickin' national tracks, and don't even get me started on the Supercross. We'll do that tomorrow or another day. Until then, AMA King and GameBrain Media on the Moto-DIRT channel are done for today. And man, I've had enough of myself. I'm sorry, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.